Dennis O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Access to justice, in most people's opinion these days, is becoming more and more difficult. In fact, far too difficult, because costs are very high, even for relatively minor offences. And of course, legal aid was intended to solve that problem by providing legal aid for people who could not, rather providing representation for people who could not afford it themselves. But now, Mr Chairman, the criteria for eligibility are so tough that many people simply don't qualify. And so a gap has emerged between those who qualify for legal aid and can therefore get representation and those who can actually afford it from their own resources. So there's a gap of people in the middle who neither qualify for legal aid nor actually can afford to get a lawyer. So that's the problem that we've got in the community, and it's getting worse. Now, I want to refer to some figures from the estimates, because those for 2016-17 show an appropriation of $137.7 million, which is a reduction against the 2015-16 budget figure of $141.85 million, and also a reduction against the $139.3 million estimated actual for 2015-16. Now, those reductions come from three places. First of all, family legal aid cases estimated to reduce by $1.6 million. Waitangi tribunal cases, a reduction of about $1 million. And duty solicitors, a reduction of nearly $2 million. On the other hand, criminal legal aid is expected to require another $1.7 million in the current year, which appears to reflect an anticipated increase in crime and its accompanying legal aid costs. But, Mr Chairman, civil legal aid is only to go up by about $1 million over the 2015-16 year. Yet, while legally aided criminal cases are projected to stay about the same in number, the number of legally aided civil cases are projected to increase from 1,200 last year to 1,350 for the current year, and that's an increase of 12.5%. Now, what that means is that despite a declaration in the estimates document that the increase for civil legal aid is, quote, for increasing eligibility for civil legal aid, unquote, there is clearly not enough funding provided for to meet the demand if the thresholds are to be raised, as stated in the document itself. Now, I also want to refer to the current legal services regulations, because it shows, as I say, that the criteria are far too tough. Now, this is what it says. It says the maximum levels of income for civil legal aid are A, $22,366 per year for a single applicant, $35,420 per year for an applicant with either a spouse or a partner or a dependent child, $50,934 per year for an applicant with a spouse or partner and one dependent child, or two or more dependent children. Now, the maximum level for disposable capital, the threshold for that, is only $3,500. That excludes, of course, a family home up to $80,000. And if the applicant has a spouse or a partner or one or more dependent children, the capital threshold then increases by another $1,500. Now, the point is these are very low thresholds, and far too many people exceed those thresholds but still can't afford to hire a lawyer, and that is the fundamental problem we've got. Now, we cannot see in these budget documents if there is intended to be a new schedule for those thresholds. It's just not available. But the point I'm making is this, that the amount provided for in the budgets and in the estimates is simply not enough to provide for any significant change in those thresholds. So what we're going to get is a continuation of a situation where that gap continues.
Jonathan Young.